Meteorologist Camille Dinka spoke with a local expert on mental health who explains how seasonal affective disorder, or most people know it as SAD, how that works and the kinds of signs you can look out for this winter.
Joining me today is Teresa Graham-Meinhardt. She is the Director of Outpatient Services at Abbey Center for Community Mental Health. Thank you so much for being here with me today.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. We're going to talk a little bit about seasonal affective disorder. So can you talk to me about what is seasonal affective disorder?
Fair enough. Seasonal affective disorder is a depressive disorder that runs in line with changes in light. Oftentimes people think seasonal affective disorder has to do with winter, snow, holidays, but it's not. It's all about how much sunlight we're getting. So it's interesting, about 40% of Americans identify that they have mood changes with the seasons, but about 5% meet the criteria for seasonal affective disorder. In our southern states, we have less of it. In our northern states, we have more, and that's got all to do with how much sunlight they get.
Who is most likely to be affected by seasonal affective disorder?
Sure. So people who live in areas that are dark are more likely to. So the closer that you live to the equator, the less likely you are to have it. So our northern regions, younger people are more susceptible than older, and women more susceptible than men.
Okay. What are some signs and symptoms that you should be looking for in your family and your friends?
So seasonal affective disorder looks a lot like depression. People are sad more often than they're not, low energy, sleeping a lot, overeating, craving carbs are some of the general symptoms, but the key here is that for at least 2 years, the symptoms are worse from October to April than they are the rest of the year. People should start with their family doctor. It's so important to have a family doctor or primary care provider because you develop a relationship, and so when things like this happen, you're comfortable talking to them. So starting with them, oftentimes they'll make a referral to a therapist or a psychiatrist, as the gold standard for treatment is antidepressants and therapy.
Okay.
There are other treatments, adjunct treatments, making sure a person's getting sufficient vitamin D is important, and then also there are light boxes that people can use. If you get online, you can find them. The light we get normally without that is not sufficient, but time with a light box has also been demonstrated to be helpful.
So people can get those light boxes, vitamin D over the counter. Is there anything else that people can do to kind of treat maybe that over the counter before they start talking to a professional?
Sure. So they can. Exercise is demonstrated to be helpful, but it's important to keep in mind that when you feel depressed, you don't feel like exercising, and so that's tough. Starting with a therapist, if a person's not sure they want to do medications, starting with a therapist is actually a good thing to start with as well.
Yeah. And at what point should people start considering that therapy is the next step for them?
Sure. If an individual is feeling sad more days than not for at least 2 weeks and has some of those other symptoms related to sleep or appetite, and certainly if somebody's feeling suicidal or having suicidal thoughts, those are definitely reasons to talk to somebody.
Definitely. Is there anything else that you think that people should know about seasonal affective disorder?
Just to know that it happens. It's okay not to be okay, and asking for help is a sign of strength.
Well, thank you so much, Teresa, for coming in and talking to me about seasonal affective disorder. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you.